the first question. You told us to rejoice whenever we see other people becoming sincere seekers, and it is indeed a moving experience to see new people become sannyasins and begin to meditate. But how are we to feel when we see really beautiful, sincere young people giving up everything to follow destructive, false, so-called messiahs who are only using these followers for their own material and political gain? I am thinking of a man named Moon who is gaining more and more adherents every day. He is also making more and more enemies in the West who criticize him and his methods most vehemently, but his poor blind disciples use this persecution as proof that he is a new Jesus. It is a very complicated phenomenon, and you will have to be very subtle about it. The first thing, it is none of your business. If somebody follows Moon or Muktananda, it is none of your business. You should not have any attitude about it. Because who are you to decide whether Moon is right or wrong? How can you decide? And why you should decide? You are not following him. You should keep out of it. Because there is no way to decide from the outside. The same thing was said really against Jesus also. And the people who were against Jesus, they were also saying the same thing to people, that why you are going with this man? He is a false Messiah. That's what Jews were saying against Jesus. They still say, they may not say loudly because they have been forced to be silent, crushed down the centuries, but they still say. Who is going to decide? And how? The same people are saying against me, you following me. People will say that you are fallen into the hands of a dangerous man. He has brainwashed you. He has destroyed you. You are hypnotized, and so on and so forth. So the first thing is, never be concerned about these things. Don't waste your time. If somebody feels good to be with Moon, it is his business to decide. And you say, sincere, beautiful people, if they are really sincere, they will understand sooner or later that this Messiah is false. If their sincerity cannot reveal to them the falsity of their Messiah, then who is going to reveal? So let them go wholeheartedly. If they are moving with a wrong person, sooner or later they will realize. And if they don't realize, then too it is for them to choose. In fact, the more you criticize Moon and others, the more you make it impossible for the disciples to see themselves. The more you criticize, the more they become defensive. And logic is a double-edged sword. When you start too much being against Then moon says that, look, the same happened to Jesus, the same is happening to me. People are against me. It has always happened to great prophets that people are against them. By your being against him, you are proving that he is important. You are giving him too much significance. If Jews has not bothered about Jesus, there may not have been any Christianity. I'm not saying that Jesus was wrong or right. I'm simply saying there would not have been any Christianity. But too much against him created a defensive attitude in his followers. They started fighting, arguing. Be indifferent. If you cannot rejoice, then do at least one thing, be indifferent. If you can rejoice, good. Somebody who is following moon at least is seeking, maybe seeking in wrong directions, maybe, but is still seeking, better than those people who are not seeking. Rejoice. Moving with a wrong person, but moving. Groping in the dark, far away from the door, but groping, better than those who are sitting in the dark and not groping at all. Better than Christians, Hindus, Mohammedans, Jains, Buddhists, who are just sitting silently. Their groping has stopped. They think they have found. Just by birth you become a Christian. Christianity is not your choice. Just an accident by birth. Just by birth you have become a Hindu. It is better at least that somebody is trying to move on his own. There is danger, but whole life is a danger. It is better to be a follower of moon alive than to be a follower of a dead Christ. And I'm not saying that he is right or wrong. He may be wrong. But at least the person has the courage to follow, to choose. If he is wrong, sooner or later his own experience will prove it that he is wrong. But those people who are simply sitting in the darkness, they will never come to know whether they are wrong or right. The real trouble is with these people. You have taken it for granted that you are a Christian. How can you be a Christian? There were only few Christians who followed Jesus alive. They risked their life. The greatest risk was this, that there is no way to decide whether they are following a right person or wrong. That was their greatest risk. Had they been with the old church, if they had remained Jews, there was no risk. Things were settled by the tradition. For centuries down, everything was settled, every dogma was settled. These people started looking for themselves. They were trying to open their eyes. I am not worried whether Jesus is right or wrong, but I say these people are more alive people. Yes, even with a Muktananda, it is good to move. And if you are a sincere seeker, how long Muktananda or moon can deceive you? How long? Your sincerity is your only protection, nothing else. Go on. One has to grope long. One has to knock on many doors before one comes to the right door. There is no other way. So don't criticize. There is no need. It is none of your concern. If you want to follow moon, then you have to think about it. Others are following, let them think. Why you should take their responsibility? Why you should have any power over others? If somebody decides to follow a fool, that's his decision, and he has the freedom to follow the fool. Forced, even if you are following the greatest wise man, a Buddha in the world, then too it is ugly, because it kills your freedom. With your own choice, if you follow a fool, it is beautiful. My emphasis is on your freedom. And people who are against moon, why they are against moon? The same reason why people were against Jesus. Because if moon's influence grows, then more and more Christians will be disappearing. They will become Moonites. These people are against Bhakti Vedanta, the Hare Krishna movement leader, because more and more people are becoming Hindus, Christians disappearing. These people are against Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, because more and more people are dropping their Christian prayer and starting TM. The same happens everywhere. Here people are against me, because if you come with me, by and by, you will not be a Parsi, and you will not be a Hindu, and you will not be a Christian. You will become a pure human being, simple human being with no adjectives. So those who live with the adjectives and those who have much investment in their adjectives, how they can just watch it? They are afraid. Their establishment is eroding. They will try in every way. But I will suggest them, if they really want that no one should come to me, they should remain indifferent. The more they are against me, the more they make me important. Their very againstness helps many people to become interested in me. The best way for them will be not to be bothered by me. Be indifferent. Let people come and let people find. If they find more nourishment with me than they were finding in their old church, in their temple, in their mosque, then it is for them to choose. If they don't find any nourishment with me, they move away. They go on searching. But if people are against me, then you start becoming defensive. Then your eyes become dogmatic. Then you are in an arguing mood. You have to prove somehow that your master is right and is the only true master in the world. Then, even sometimes you see flaws in me, errors, mistakes. You bypass them. How your master can have any mistake, flaw in his life? Impossible. And you go on hiding, and by you become almost determined by the people who are against me. They talk against me, you have to talk for me. They help me in a way. This is my suggestion. There is no need to be worried. The world is vast and everybody is free to choose, should be free to choose. If somebody feels that he is attaining something with moon, and moon may be wrong, as far as I know, he is wrong. But even then, if somebody follows him, I am not going to distract the person. This is my attitude that he is wrong. Even if he is wrong, somebody may be benefited by him. Life is very mysterious. You learn by your errors also. I know many people like Muktanand who have nothing to give. It is a miracle that Muktanand can also become a guru. But still, if somebody is following Muktanand, I will not say that don't follow him. I will say go headlong. Because that is the only way to find it out, to figure it out. I will say go headlong with open eyes, maybe. This is how your life is going to grow. Nothing is wrong in it. Why be so much afraid? One learns from fools as much as from wise people. And one learns from pseudo-gurus as much as from authentic gurus. They are part of one phenomenon. In fact, you get that which you deserve. Now there are few people who deserve Muktanand. What to do? They have earned Muktanand through their lives, many lives of karmas, and they have earned Muktanand. Now who I am or who are you to prevent them? Why? They deserve. That is their growth. They have to pass through it. One day Mullah Nasruddin came to me, and he was very much worried, and he said that I would like to become a guru myself. I was intrigued. I said, there are good opportunities. Why not? You try. He said, yes, that's why I'm thinking. If Muktananda of Ganeshpuri can become a guru, why not I? And then he said, there is one request. You supply me my first disciple. A man was sitting by the side who suffers from inferiority complex. And he has seen psychoanalysts, Freudians, Jungians, Adlerians, and he has defeated all of them. And he goes on suffering with inferiority complex. In fact, he has become more skilled in it. The more he has been psychoanalyzed, the more he has become skillful about it. In fact, he is enjoying it. So I told Nasruddin, you take this man. Try. This man suffers from inferiority complex. Nasruddin took him away, sat with him, looked into his eyes, meditated a little, closed his eyes, and then told him, finally, I have good news for you. You have no inferiority complex. You really are inferior. No, there are people who really are inferior. They deserve Muktanandas, moons, and that type of people. There are stupid people, what to do? Stupid gurus are also needed. Stupid gurus cannot disappear from the world unless stupid people disappear. It is a subtle economical law. Your demand has to be fulfilled. Somebody from somewhere has to supply goods that you need. People think as if it is only just moon or people who are exploiting. No, you want to be exploited. You cannot rest unless you are exploited. People think that followers are innocent. This is nonsense. You cannot exploit an innocent man. They are cunning. The followers are cunning. Then they are exploited by more cunning people. An innocent person cannot be exploited by a cunning person, because innocence is so pure. In that purity he will immediately see that this whole thing is nonsense. You cannot exploit an innocent person. You can exploit only a cunning person. I was just staying in a town. Mullah Nasruddin deceived somebody. He said he can double rupees just by magic. And he showed the trick. He doubled 100 rupee note. It was just a trick. But the person was impressed. So the person brought all whatsoever he had. Not a very rich man, but whatsoever he had. Ornaments, gold, precious stones, money, whatsoever he had. Then he played the game and he disappeared with the whole lot. Now that man came to me and said, "Why you allow such cunning people with me?" I said, "You are cunning. That's why he could exploit you. You wanted your money to be doubled without any effort. That's why he couldn't exploit you. If you were innocent, how you can be exploited?" Your logic and his logic were not different. What you were expecting from him. He exploited your greed. He exploited because you were ready to be exploited. Can't you see the whole nonsense of it? I told him, if it is in my power, then I will send you both to the jail. Because you are a participant. He is alone not responsible. In fact, his responsibility is secondary to you. If you were not ready, how he can exploit you? So don't call those people sincere, innocent, which are exploited by cunning people. No. They must have some cunningness in themselves. They must be looking for shortcuts, for nirvana. Then anybody can exploit you. Somebody comes and says, "This will do." Just a mantra. You have to repeat 20 minutes morning, 20 minutes evening. And you will attain to perfect bliss. Now he is delivering something so cheap. You call it transcendental meditation or something, whatsoever you want. And if he asks $100 fee for it, what is wrong in it? And you say, this man is exploiting. He is not exploiting your innocence. Innocence cannot be exploited. An innocent man will understand how it is possible just by uttering Rama, Rama, Rama 20 minutes morning and evening, and you become enlightened. Be reasonable. And if you are unreasonable and he asks $100 fee, he is asking simply something that fits with your logic. And you pay $100 fee, and then you think that he has been exploiting you. Nobody can exploit you unless you are ready to be exploited. Nobody can deceive you unless you are ready to be deceived. The responsibility is yours. So be alert. Be reasonable. Don't be a fool. Otherwise somebody is bound to become your guru. And then don't go on shouting and crying and making a fuss about it that you have been exploited. You want it to go to nirvana. Very cheap. Always remember, you fall into bondage because you want to become a slave. You cannot remain free, that's why you fall into a sort of bondage. But it is you, otherwise nobody can imprison you. You are afraid of freedom. You are afraid of growing. You are afraid of facing life as it is. So from somewhere or other, sometimes from Korea, Moon comes from Korea, sometimes from India, Muktanand comes from India, sometimes from Japan. And of course, these people have to come from the East, because East has the credit of being religious, spiritual. Just in the same way, if an engineer comes from Germany, he has more prestige in India. A doctor comes from England, he has more prestige in India. The Indian doctor may be as much educated as the English doctor, but the English doctor has prestige. He comes from the world of science. He has an aura. Just if you have a watch, Indian-made HMT watch, it is an ordinary watch made in India. If you have a watch Swiss-made, it has an aura, imported. The same happens as far as religion is concerned. In America, you need imported gurus. And India has nothing else to export. So we are exporting in bulk. They carry aura. Here it is difficult for them to find disciples. But they come from the East, the world of the rising sun. They come from the fabulous East, the land of Buddhas, Mahaviras, Krishnas. They carry aura. Just very ordinary people, with no talent, with no genius, with no intelligence. But they can just sit there and things start happening. And then you think they are doing something. You are hankering that something must happen to you. And nothing is happening. The West is very much bored. Something should happen. Now you have everything that you always needed, desired. All material things are there. Now for the first time, West is becoming aware that something spiritual is needed. A spiritual need is being felt. It always happens whenever a society becomes very rich and affluent, only then the religious need is felt. A poor country cannot become religious, howsoever it may pretend. It has never been so, it cannot be. I am not saying that a poor man cannot become religious. Individuals can be exceptions. A Kabir, a Nanak. But poor societies cannot be religious. Their basic needs are unfulfilled. Religion is a very high need. It is as if you are hungry. Who thinks in that moment of listening to beautiful music? When you are hungry, you need bread. You don't need music. Beethoven won't do. Mozart is meaningless when you are hungry. When you are hungry, starved, naked, what to do with Shakespeare, Goethe, Kalidas? It makes no sense. When your basic needs are fulfilled, your body is healthy, you have a hygienic world to live in, good house, good clothes, good food, nourished, suddenly you feel, now you need something of the aesthetic world. Music, art, poetry. You become interested in Picasso and Van Gogh, and you become interested in Pablo Neruda, and 1,000 doors open. When your aesthetic needs are also fulfilled, when you are getting bored by Beethoven's also, Mozart also, then suddenly another door opens. The door of the Buddha, Krishna, Christ. That is the highest need. When every lower need is fulfilled, then spirituality arises. The West has fulfilled its lower needs. Now suddenly a desire has possessed it. A passion for the ultimate is being felt all over the West, particularly in the new generation. A tremor, a longing for the unknown. It is a very critical moment. In this moment, there will be many people who will exploit this need. Because the West is like children. Children into the world of the spirit. They don't know what is what. They just have a need, that's all they know. And whosoever comes and says, I can fulfill your needs, whosoever is clever enough, at least to pretend, you will follow him. But this is natural. Sooner or later you will be finished with moons and Muktanandas. Because sooner or later you will see that they promise but they never deliver. How long this can go on? And then only you will become interested into true masters. Krishnamurti, or Gurdjieff, or Raman. Then you will start getting interested. But this is natural. In the beginning it has to be so. You don't know what real roses are. So people who bring paper roses and plastic roses, you don't know what real roses are. You don't have any comparison. You simply purchase them. But how long it can go on? That's why I decided not to go to the West. Right now, it is a supermarket. And there are so many people standing on their soap boxes and shouting and selling and advertising that it is futile. I decided rather to wait here. So people who have been with Moon, with Muktananda, with this and that, and are finished, and who have come to know that these people have nothing to give, are bound to come towards East in search. I decided to wait for them here, not to go there. Because when a seeker comes traveling so far, then his desire is very authentic. Then he is risking much. He is risking his whole life. And it is better that he should have passed through the supermarket. So he knows. If sometimes somebody comes to me directly, I am not much interested in him, because I know it is better he should pass through the right channel, Muktananda, Moon, etc. When he passes through all of them and then he comes to me, there is a sudden contact, an immediate contact. So in a way they help. Here are many people who have been in all sorts of movements in the West. This is good, a good training. You have some background. You have a certain gestalt to judge. So the first thing, you told us to rejoice whenever we see other people becoming sincere seekers, and it is indeed a moving experience to see new people become sannyasins and begin to meditate. But how are we to feel when we see really beautiful, sincere young people giving up everything to follow destructive, false, so-called messiahs who are only using these followers for their own material and political gain? Let them go. Help them to go there. Tell them to go to the very end. Sincerity, their search, if it is true, they will come out. And they will come out more mature, less childish. They will come out more experienced. Nothing to be worried. Never prevent anybody. If he is going really somewhere, let him go. There is only one way to learn, and that is through experience. There is no other way. And if you think that he may be lost, then he deserves to be lost. Then that is what he needs right now. Nothing happens without your deserving it. Whatsoever happens, you deserve it. Nobody can exploit you unless you were in need to be exploited. Nobody can make you a slave unless you were ready to become a slave and you were afraid of freedom. Nothing happens to you for which you were not hankering, for which you were not desiring, consciously or unconsciously. So it is your life and it is your freedom. It happened one night. The phone rang at 4 a.m. "What do you want?" I shouted into the instrument. Nothing was the reply. "Then why did you call me in the middle of the night?" "Because the rate is cheaper." That's why I stopped keeping the phone in my room since then. Because there are absurd people. Because the rate is cheaper. That may be the only reason they can phone in the middle of the night. You go with moon because the rate is very cheap. You go with Muktananda because the rate is very cheap. What I mean? I mean, they promise you something and they don't ask you to be transformed. The rate is very cheap. They say God can happen to you without any change on your part. Just do this mantra for 20 minutes. When you come to me, it is not a question of 20 minutes. It is a question of your whole life. You have to change from the very roots. I ask for a radical change. You have to drop your old values, your old morality, your old concepts, your old world view. You have to almost die with your past. Only then your future starts sprouting. I ask you to be crucified so that you can be resurrected. I am like a death. And that's what is the meaning of sannyas is. You die in me. And a totally new person is born. I am not saying that your life will become easy. No. It may become more difficult. I am not promising you rose gardens. One thing I can only promise, and that is that if you are ready to take the risk, there may be many more difficulties, but you will start growing. I can only promise growth. Growth is always hard, painful. You have to destroy and dismantle many things in you. And you have to learn new ways of being, new styles of life. It is painful. I don't say you will become rich, as Maharishi Mahesh Yogi says, if you meditate. You will become successful, you will become rich. I don't say. In fact, you may become more of a failure if you go with me. And you may never be rich if you go with me. Because if you go with me, you will become less and less ambitious. If you go with me, you will become less and less aggressive, less and less violent. Ambition is violence. The very effort to succeed in the world is violent. You may be a loser as far as the outside world is concerned. I cannot say anything about it. You may turn out to be just a beggar. But one thing I can say, you will be growing in. You will be enriched within. You will become more blissful. I don't say more successful, I say more blissful. You will become more restful. You will be more relaxed. But I don't say that you will have money and success and things like that. With me, you will have to lose much. And with me, the gain will be so inner that only you will know and nobody else will know. So you cannot exhibit it. You cannot show it to anybody. The gain is going to be very inner and very subtle, and the loss is going to be very gross and very outer. Everybody will know that you are losing. Just the other night, one Indian sannyasi came in and said, my whole ambition is gone. And I am becoming indifferent to all success. Even I don't feel like struggling anymore. I want to be in a deep let go. I said, perfectly good. That's how it should be. He was disturbed about one thing. He said, but something is happening, and that is, I am not even interested in meditation anymore. I feel happy, silent, but I am not interested even in meditation anymore. I said, that's what one should expect finally. Drop that too. About this he was a little puzzled, whether to drop meditation or not, because only through meditation he has come up to this point, where he is feeling at home, so much so that all his desiring is disappearing. He wanted to cling to meditation. When I said drop that too, his last barrier was broken. Now, if you look at this person, it will be difficult for you to see what is happening. In fact, he may have looked you more radiant before than he will look around now, because now he is so silent. His whole energy is so silent. You will not find him laughing. At the most he can smile. In fact, that too he will have to do by an effort. Not because he is unhappy. He is simply happy. You laugh because of unhappiness. 24 hours of unhappiness. You gather unhappiness. Then you have to do something to get out of it. You laugh. But if a man becomes really happy, then the very need for laughter disappears. It will be difficult from the outside to judge that something has happened inside in him, and a great transformation is happening inside. This is what sannyas is. He is disappearing from the world. For this transformation, very few people are ready. And those who are not ready, they also need somewhere to go, somewhere to seek. They also need a guru, a master. Good, nothing wrong in it. But remember the dictum that you get only that which you deserve. They will find somebody. One politician used to come to me, and I asked him, why you come to me? He said, just for your blessings. I have been trying hard. But for 12 years, I have remained a minister, and I couldn't succeed in becoming a chief minister. Now every minister has his own guru, and I know only you, so I come to you. I said, you have chosen a wrong guru. Go to Satya Sai Baba. You have chosen a wrong guru. Because if you come too often here, there is every possibility you may not even remain a minister. Don't listen to me what I am saying, and don't come close to me. It is dangerous. Since then he has disappeared. He must have got the point. With me, you will fail in the world. Of course, very few people are ready to fail in the world. With me, you can succeed in the inner, but very few people are mature enough even to desire for that. So there are so many grades of growth, so many types of people, so many centuries living together. Now a person who goes to Sai Baba and a person who comes to me are not contemporaries, cannot be. The person who goes to Sat Sai Baba because miracles are happening must be living somewhere 2000 years back, when these things were thought to be spiritual. These are just ordinary magical tricks. A Buddha is not known to have done anything like that. It would have been foolish. 2000 years have passed. Few people have remained in that primitive state of mind. They go there. They cannot see simple things. There is no need to discuss about it. Any ordinary magician on the street can do these things. But when a magician is doing these things, you think he is just a magician. And when a religious person is doing these things, you think these are miracles. They are the same things. Now the Bangalore University has appointed a small commission of 12 people, and they have asked Sat Sai Baba to help them. They want to see the miracles done before the committee, so they can see whether there is any scientific validity or not. He didn't answer. 3 letters were written from the Vice Chancellor. He will not answer. And when the Vice Chancellor released his letters to the press, then he was very angry. Then he answered in a public talk. and answered in such an unspiritual way that it is unbelievable. It is ridiculous. He said that these people are trying to fathom me. It is as if an ant is trying to fathom the ocean. These people are trying to pull me down. It is as if dogs barking and thinking that stars will fall. Now this is very non-religious language, profane, not even gentlemanly. And if really he is doing miracles, then why be afraid? Let them come. It will be a good opportunity for you to prove. Why not allow them? They will become your followers. They will beat the drum for you all over the world that you are really a siddha, a miracle man. Why not allow them? Why you are afraid? They simply want to watch. Only one thing I have to suggest to the Vice Chancellor of the Bangalore University, that their committee is not of the right people. In their committee there are professors of philosophy and psychology and science, physics, chemistry. These people cannot judge a magician. These people have no background. What it has to do with physics, these are simple people, very innocent people. They have lived in mathematics. The committee needs a Gogia Pasa, a Kelal. Only then these people can be brought down to earth. A Gogia Pasa, a magician is needed in the committee, because he will know what Sat Sai Baba is doing. Every magician knows what he is doing. Professors won't be of any help. Professors are very poor people. What they can do? They don't have any concept of magic. If you are going to find out the truth of a magician, take magicians with you. Only they will know. It is a very tricky world, the world of magic. Very great skill is needed. To deceive is not so easy. It is an art, a great art. But people are there. Even if you expose Satya Sai Baba, that doesn't matter. Another Baba will arise, because these people have a need. They will say, yes, that Baba was bogus, but this Baba is true. You go on exposing, it makes no difference, because you don't understand that there is a basic need in people. Unless people are raised in their consciousness, Satya Sai Babas will continue. Nobody can. You can expose one Satya Sai Baba, another will be born. You can expose that, another will be born, because people are in a real need. They don't know any higher religion than that. All are not contemporaries. People coming to me are a totally different type of people. In fact, they are a little ahead of their time. They will not be understood. That's why when you go in Pune, people cannot make out what you are doing. They cannot figure it out, because you don't belong to this century. You have come a little earlier than your time. They cannot believe that how a sannyasin can move with a girl hand in hand. Impossible. I am giving you something which will be possible only in 21st century. 100 years more are needed, when religion will not be anti-life. when religion will be life affirmative, when religion will not be anti-love, when religion will be a tremendous release of love, when religion will not be anti-sex, because to be anti-sex is to be anti-life, when religion will be a total acceptance of all that life gives, of all the benedictions that life makes available, then religion will be just a deep gratitude towards a God. Whatsoever He has given, one has to move into it, love it, experience it, transcend it, but no anti-attitude. So when you go into the Pune town and people cannot believe that you are sannyasis, they have their own notions of the past. A sannyasin has to be anti-life, you are not. Now one of my old sannyasin paritos goes to the race ground. What to do? And not only that, he is winning there. But good. I approve of it. I am not here to destroy your life, your enjoyment, your delights. I am here to enhance them. I am here to help you to become more flowing. To me, sannyas is not to take life very seriously. Take it playfully. The race ground is also part of life. And if you enjoy, it is perfectly good. Nothing is wrong in it. So whatsoever one is following, remember, it may be a need to him. Let him go. Help him. At least he is trying to find something. Someday we can hope he will find a place where he can bow, where he can surrender, and where he will not be exploited. And of course, if you start arguing, then people become defensive. It is just part of the ego of the disciple to defend the master. If somebody says against me anything, you simply feel it is against you. And it is natural, because you belong to me, I belong to you. If somebody is saying something against me, you feel hurt. You start defending. And if he goes to exaggerations in his criticism, you go to exaggerations in your defense. And both become false. I have heard the Puerto Rican couple had been married only 3 months when the wife gave birth to a bouncing baby girl. The proud grandmother was accosted on the street one day by one of her neighbors. "Hey, I see your Rosita just had a baby after only 3 months." Smirked the neighbor. "You surprised?" asked the new grandmother. "My Rosita is such an innocent. How would she know how long to carry a baby?" Never argue, it is useless. Then you make the other person defensive and then extremes. Many people are simply going here and there because of curiosity. That too is good. Not to be curious is not to be alive. That too is good. But curiosity is not enough for spiritual growth. There are 3 words in the East. Curiosity we call kutuhal. It is childish. You don't put anything at the stake. You just ask why the trees are green, and then you forget about it. If nobody answers it, you don't go on thinking about it. Who created the world? Not that you are really interested. Just a floating idea in the mind. Not that you are ready to put your life for this question, that you have to find the answer. It does not matter. Then inquiry, we call jigyasa. Inquiry means now your curiosity is not just curiosity. It is taking deep roots in you. It is becoming a part of your life. You are not asking for asking's sake. You really want to go into it. And then there is a third word, mumuksha, for which no English equivalent exists. Curiosity is just amusement. Inquiry becomes more scientific. Mumuksha literally means the desire, passionate desire to know the truth. Curiosity will not take you anywhere else. You will remain a newspaper reader, that's all. Every day you read the newspaper, but it's just curiosity. Then you throw it. Inquiry can make you a scientific worker, a philosopher, a logician, but still it will not make you a religious person, a spiritual being. When your inquiry becomes so passionate, by passionate I mean when it becomes a question of life and death, that you cannot rest at ease unless you know the truth. When you are ready to die for it, for your inquiry, only then you can find a real master. So there are three types of master. People who fulfill your curiosity, people who fulfill your inquiry, and people who fulfill your mumuksha, your passionate desire to know the truth. It depends on you. Curiosity mongers can go to Muktananda, moon. That will do. They are never ready to commit. They are just spectators. And of course they get into many troubles. I have heard a Jew was standing on a manhole cover, jumping up and down and shouting, 69, 69, 69. A German came along and asked, "What are you doing?" The Jew jumped off and took the German by the arm. "Here," he said, "you try it for a while." The German got on the manhole cover, and as he started to jump up, the Jew grabbed the cover away and the German fell down the stair. "Ha!" explained the Jew as he replaced the cover and started jumping again. 70, 70, 70. Curiosity is just like that. Somebody is shouting 69, 69, 69. And just in your mind an idea arises what he means. What is 69? Now you are no more, you have nothing to do with it. If you are really a little alert man, you will bypass. Let him say 69, 69. Let him shout. Why you should get into it? But man is a monkey. If somebody is shouting, suddenly you become curious. What is the matter? That's how things are going. A Muktananda goes on shouting, "Kundalini, Kundalini, Kundalini." What is Kundalini? 69 becomes 70. So first you get caught, and then it becomes very difficult to get out, because then it becomes an involvement with the ego. The 7-year-old was being taught the proper way to ask a girl for a dance. A half hour later, he asked the teacher, "Now, how do you get rid of her?" It is very easy to ask a girl to dance with you. The real problem arises how to get rid. It is very easy to fall in love. The problem arises when you want to get out of it. You had never really thought of all the implications. When you go to somebody, you may be just going for curiosity's sake. Some friend goes there, your neighbor goes there, and they say, "Baba is incredible." So you have to go, 69. Then you have ambitions, then you have illnesses, then you have a pending last suit against you in the court. Then you have 1,001 problems, and when you go to the Baba, and there are people who say he is a miracle, he can create things out of nothing, then your desire becomes aflame. If he can create things out of nothing, maybe he can help for my court case, or he can help for my disease to disappear, or he can help for my ambition, for my success in life. Then you are caught. And then others start saying that you are going to a false Messiah. Then you defend. It becomes your ego problem. You, and how you can go to a false Messiah. When you go there, the Messiah has to be true. You cannot go. You are such an intellectual person, so intelligent. How can you be caught by a false Messiah? Impossible. Then you try to prove that he is not false. Now you are getting into a trap on your own. And one day it will be very difficult to get out, because now you will be swallowing your own thing that you have spat. You have been saying that he is the greatest master, then one day you want to leave. Now how to leave? It goes against your own assertions. Ego becomes involved. One thing only I would like to say: go wherever you want to go. Don't get egoistically involved. Remain alert, watchful. If you can learn something, learn. If you find that there is nothing to learn, then be ready to leave. There is no need to live with a grudge. There is no need to leave him only when you start being against him. There is no need to be an enemy. Simply leave. Because to be too much in attachment is bad, and to be too much full of hatred is bad also. You go to a person, whatsoever you can learn, you learn. If you feel that this is the home you have arrived, then good for you. If you feel this is not, then leave. And thank him for whatsoever he has done for you. Maybe he has not done anything, but at least he has made you aware that you can become a victim of somebody who has nothing to give. Next time, you will not become a victim so easily. Thank him for that. Three logicians were standing under one umbrella. "This is terrific," said one of them. "None of us are getting wet." "That is because it is not raining," said one standard by. There are many people who think they are happy because of the Baba, because the Baba's blessing is making them happy. They think Baba is like an umbrella. But first look whether it is raining or not. This is my experience. If 100% come to a Baba, 50 will become hangers around. 50 will leave. Because those 50 will not feel any fulfillment. And these 50 will feel some sort of fulfillment. Not because of the Baba. It is a simple statistics. If 100 ill persons come, almost 50 persons will be helped. Not because of the Baba. If they had not come, then too they would have become healthy. They simply become healthy because it is not raining. You go on distributing anything, just water. You try it. You just can go and sit under a tree and start distributing water to people. Within a week you will see many people are hanging around you. What has happened? Many will start saying that you are a miracle. I had a headache for many years, that disappeared. Somebody says he had a stomach ache and it has disappeared. And you will be surprised, but by and by you will see that things are working. So you will become more confident. When you become more confident, things will work more. And these people who will hang around you because they have been helped, they will create an aura around you. Whenever a new person will come, they will say, certainly it is going to happen, absolutely it is going to happen. Look, to all us it has happened. This man has a headache, and this man had a stomach ache, and this man was suffering from this, and that man was suffering from that. We all have been helped. This creates a surge of deep suggestibility. When so many people have been helped, then why not you? You become hopeful. Faith arises. And then the water works. These are simple auto-suggestions. These work. And then things go on growing. It is just like a snowball rolling on snow. Just by rolling, more snow collects around it. It goes on bigger and bigger and bigger. Human stupidity is tremendous. And man has lived down the ages in such ignorant, stupid ways, unintelligent ways, that it seems natural. Nobody understands how things work. Still, the science has not been able to know exactly how things work. But the basic things are known, how things work. They work through faith. Nobody is working. Nobody is doing anything. Just your own faith. Jesus is true. He again and again says people come to him, they are healed, and they want to thank him. And he says, don't thank me. Your faith has healed you. He is a true man. He says, don't thank me. I have not done anything. Your faith has healed you. And these Babas also don't understand. They are as much mystified as you are mystified by what goes on happening. Mullah Nasruddin had been out speaking all day in an election campaign and returned home late at night, tired and weary. How did your speeches go today? His wife asked. All right, I guess, the mullah said, but I am afraid some of the people in the audience did not understand some of the things I was saying. What makes you think that? His wife asked. Because, whispered Mullah Nasruddin, I don't understand them myself. Just watch how your mind functions, how your mind tends to be superstitious, how your mind tends to be egoistic, how your mind tends to be defensive, rationalizing. Just watch that. The real work is to be done deep inside your mind. Don't be worried about moon and others. You just think about your own mind. And by, clarity will come to you. Understanding the mechanism of the mind, one becomes freed of that mechanism. Becoming aware, one goes beyond the mind. And that state of beyond the mind is the state of freedom. Then you cannot be exploited. Then nobody can enforce you into any sort of imprisonment. Then nobody can deceive you, befool you. The last question. It is from Santi Sudhir. He has sent me just a blank paper. He has been writing questions almost every day. Of course, I never answer him. So this is his last desperate effort. He is the greatest questioner around here. But because all his questions were just head things, I have never bothered to answer him. Because they were just intellectual rubbish. They had nothing to do with his being. They had nothing to do with himself. 50% of them were concerned with others. 50% were just bookish. He must be a good reader. He goes on sending books to me. He must have studied much. And that goes on moving in his mind. And then questions arise. Those questions have nothing to do with his being or with his growth. Those questions are just useless. Curiosities at the most, not even inquiries. When I come across the questions, first I try to answer those questions which belong to mumuksha, which belong to your passionate effort to get rid of illusions and to arrive into the world of truth. First, I answer only those questions which are really life and death questions. If I cannot find that type of questions, then second, I answer those questions which belong to jigyasa, inquiry. If even that is not possible, then only I answer questions which belong just to curiosity. Just because you have asked a question, I am not going to answer it. I have to choose. Because you don't know yourself what you are asking and why you are asking. If I don't answer your question, that is my answer. That simply shows that the question was in some way irrelevant, was not worth. So I never answered Santi Sudhir. He is a good soul, very innocent, but too much in the head. And I wanted him to pull down a little towards the heart. This is his desperate effort, but the best that he has done. That's why I have decided to answer, though he has not asked anything. This shows that a little glimpse of the heart, this blank piece of paper. Yes, heart is just as blank as this blank piece of paper. Head is too full. It is crowded. Heart is pure, empty sky, unclouded. Yes, the heart is just like this piece of paper with only one small distinction, that this piece of paper has his name on it. That is the only flaw I can find in this question. Had there been no name on it, it would have been perfect. A little ego. You can carry that little ego in the heart also, but then it corrupts the whole heart. If he had sent just a blank piece of paper without any name, that would have been something tremendously valuable. There are many people who ask the questions just to hear their names from me. They are not interested in the questions. They are interested only in their names. Then I make it a point not to mention their names. I mention somebody's name only when I see the person is interested, not at all interested in the name, only interested in the question. I have my own ways. But to Santi Sudhir, I would like to say that learn something. This blank piece of paper should become your reality. Drop the name also. Just be simply blank. Mind has so many questions and no answers. The heart has no questions and only the answer. This is the paradox. The mind goes on asking, never finds the answer. And the heart never asks and is always with the answer. Just the other night, Govinda came back. He is a sannyasin, a rare being, a very pure being. He is a world-famous architect. I asked him, have you any question to ask? He said, no. This time, I have no question to ask. I have just come to be here. And I told him that then you will receive the answer. Because if you are sitting by my side without any question, then who can prevent the answer? Then how the answer can be prevented? Then it will sour on you. Then it will reach to you. That is the meaning of satsang. Being with a master without any mind. Just being with him. So energies can meet and merge and flow. If you are empty, I can fill you totally. You will start overflowing. But if you are already full of questions, then it is very difficult for me to get inside you. Impossible. Become a blank piece of paper. Don't write even your name on that. Be just empty. In that emptiness, perfection descends. When you are not, God is. enough for today.